Hello everybody and welcome to a very special episode of JayEmm and Friends. You find Ant and myself on an unexpected trip to Italy, where we're here for the launch of the new Maserati MC Pura supercar. And we thought this would be an excellent opportunity to lift the lid on an often discussed but rarely understood part of the world of motoring and, more importantly, motoring journalism. That is a very convoluted and long-winded way of saying, what exactly goes on at a press launch? Well, in today's episode, we're going to tell you.
Now, this is my first time on any kind of press launch, and of course I'm riding on James's coattails straight into a Maserati one. And of course, I was a little bit concerned about, well, what we're expecting to see here, and also what's going to be expected of us.
Now, this is also my first Maserati press launch, so I also wasn't quite sure what to expect. The truth is that all of these are quite different. And this is actually, I believe, only my second international launch. This is the global launch of the MC Pura. And funnily enough, the last time I did an international launch, it was also in Italy with Ferrari for the Roma. And that was in COVID times, which was very, very unusual indeed. However, every single press launch does tend to feature a few of the same things. Before we talk about those though, I do want to get one big thing out of the way straight away. Neither Ant nor myself have been paid to be here. Not at all.
In fact, we had to pay to get here.
Yeah, airport parking these days is ludicrously expensive.
Ludicrous. So we ended up getting a taxi.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest with you, I was glad of it because it was quite early in the morning when we had to leave, which already made it feel like hard work.
Yeah, now this is actually quite lucky because this is a 2-day event. We arrived today, which is it Tuesday today?
It is Tuesday.
It is Tuesday. And the actual driving is going to be tomorrow. So many of our colleagues won't be here until quite a bit later on. However, we chose to get the early flight out so we could do a little bit of advanced scouting, educate ourselves a little bit about what exactly is going on, and try and find some good driving roads. As you can probably tell, today's is very scenic, but ultimately it's a bust. This car is already too big and too fast for it, so a 630 horsepower mid-engined carbon fibre tub supercar, it's going to be terrifying here.
Yeah, I don't think we'll be using this road at all. Although, one of the things that we have been provided is a route to follow and an itinerary, which if we stick to it, we probably won't have a great deal of time for actual filming, but we would get plenty of time to experience the car.
That's right, and one of the things that I found with these events, and a reason why I don't tend to do many of them anymore, is the fact that even now in 2025, they're still set up for your more traditional journalist. So the general way these things work is you'll go to an airport, you'll fly out to a destination somewhere, sometimes more exotic, sometimes less so. But for Maserati, of course, they wanted to do the launch here in Italy. There'll be a whole bunch of cars and people there. Usually it takes place across a number of days. For certain cars, can even be weeks that manufacturers will be somewhere, especially if they've got, say, a whole new range to launch. There'll be presentations, technical briefings, all sorts of things. To give you a really good example, one of the more interesting I had was actually the Kia EV6 GT. So for that, we got not just told about the car and what makes it different, but also they had a few components on display. So pieces of the battery pack, suspension, that sort of stuff. And you know, some manufacturers really love that kind of thing. Others are just happy to do the old PowerPoint there, here, look, isn't this better than it was before? You'll then get in a car, drive it for maybe an hour or two, stop at a destination, have lunch. You'll then get chucked into another car, drive that for an hour or two, maybe change again, and then at sort of 4 or 5 o'clock or so, you either go home, back to the airport, or whatever. For a print journalist, that's fine, because all they've got to do is get in the car, drive it a little bit, and then when they're on the plane on the way home, they can write what they thought. And I've seen them doing it. Very impressive sometimes. But of course for us, this is a bit of a problem because we have to do everything on the event. I can't come out here, drive a car, and then get home and make my video. Well, I mean, I could, but wouldn't be very interesting to watch.
No, and in fact, their production process is after the fact. Our production process is during the fact. And there is still post-production work to do when we get home, i.e. editing the video and putting it together. But our challenge today has been to try and find a road where we can actually film the car driving past, and we haven't done very well, have we?
No, we haven't. Now, there are still a couple of places on the suggested route that I think could work, but that was too far away for us to be able to go and scout out today. So when we do the drive tomorrow, it is basically going to be a bit of hope and pray that we find somewhere that works, because although Maserati will have provided us with lots and lots of stock footage, I like to have my own. Now, part of the reason that we look for a drive-by road is because very often the footage provided by a manufacturer might not actually feature a car like the one we're driving, which is why today you'll be seeing footage of a different Grand Cabrio doing drive-bys because we didn't find a good road. When I did the Roma, I was on my own. I had no helping hand at all. Ant is here, of course, not just for set decoration, but also to help me get all of the drive-by shots and things. We're also going to be doing another piece on JayEmm Friends talking about his opinion of the MC Pura.
Now, you might think that finding a road where we can film the car driving up and down is easy. You just find a really nice driving road, jump out of the car and start filming. But actually, there's quite a few considerations. First and foremost being safety. So we need a place where we can pull the car in to turn it around, to drive up and down the road. Those two locations need to be close enough to each other that it doesn't take half an hour between each shot. And on top of that, there needs to be a location where the person holding the camera can stand safely, but also move between points in order to make the shots look different. Well, let's just say we've been given recommendations of great roads for driving on and showing the car off, but yeah, usually they don't have those particular considerations in mind. They're just great driving roads.
Yeah, it is my general experience that some of the very best driving roads in the world actually make terrible filming roads. All your mountain passes and things, they are not designed for you to be able to go down a mile, turn around, back up, down. It's just not how they're built. But we need to do that. We need to drive up and down the same bit of road about a dozen times, probably in a couple of different locations. And this, of course, is in a car with 630 horsepower, which means you're going to want to see it being driven in a somewhat spirited but still respectable fashion.
And of course, that is what we do, usually with me behind the wheel and Jay's behind the camera. He's actually better behind both the wheel and the camera, but I'm terrible behind the camera by comparison, so we know where our strengths and our weaknesses lie. So now we're going to be heading back to the hotel, and there's going to be a few things that we have to do straight away this evening.
And of course, it's a nice hotel. It's not the most lavish hotel in the world, and it's perfectly serviceable. In fact, if you would like to look it up, it's the Hotel Byron. Or at least I think that's what it means, not the Hotel Byron.
No.
That's in Woking. To give you some context, I was up at just gone 4 o'clock in the morning, and it wasn't until about 1 o'clock that we actually arrived where we need to be. So had we tried to do all of this in a day, it would have been a very, very long day indeed. As it is, it's already going to be a fairly long day because we've been out today. It's now nearly 4 o'clock. We've been unsuccessfully scouting a road, and now we're going back. And this is a laid-back press launch. This is deliberate on our part. We could have flown out quite a bit later, joined people for dinner and the technical briefing and done all that sort of stuff. But having done these quite a few times myself now, I knew that a bit of extra time was going to be a very, very handy thing. When we get back to the hotel, they've told us they should have a Pura available, and so we're hoping to get a few little shots and things done with the car so we can see it, just static, get some shots and things done, which we can do today, which just saves us a bit of time tomorrow, because if you actually look at the schedule we've only got something like about 4 to 5 hours on the road, and in that time we have to drive the car, develop our own opinions of it, film the drive-bys, and of course film 2 separate pieces for each of us, and also get the car back to where it's meant to be. And this is on a route which would take about 3 or so hours to drive if you were doing it without any of that stuff. Adding drive-by shots and everything, it takes a lot of time. On average, I'd say we take, 45 minutes doing drive-bys on the road we know.
And even then, things can get in the way. Sometimes you get a bit of traffic that you don't expect, and then you have to reshoot a whole bunch of stuff.
There's noise issues.
Exactly. That was perfect. And, oh, look at that.
That's cool. Is that Wile E. Coyote? Do you think that's real?
Don't know, but it's very cool. It's like
awesome.
a mine. It's like an old mine. Sorry, I got totally distracted by the scenery there. So I'll be honest, James, tomorrow sounds really glamorous and fun if you don't have to film it, but I'm actually dreading it slightly because my concern is that we won't find the roads that we need in order to shoot what we need to shoot, particularly the drive-bys. But even, what if we don't really find the right locations to be able to stop the car, rig it up like we have today with multiple cameras to give you all these camera angles that make for a more engaging video? What are we going to do if that opportunity to pull over somewhere just isn't there?
Yeah, and that is a big risk. Every single press launch that I have done, that has always been the biggest problem. Finding somewhere that not only can you enjoy the car, with a sports or supercar, it's really critical that you get to put your foot down, otherwise you're not going to give people an accurate impression of the car. But finding that drive-by road, that's so tough, and it's just something that manufacturers don't tend to think about. I remember when I did that EV6 GT launch back in 2021 or so, that was over in Sweden, and it was so frustrating because they'd rented a track.
Oh, wow.
It was sort of like a development facility almost. So there's a skid pan, there's like a drag strip, and there's a bit of a handling course. So it's like a mini Millbrook. And we did some driving in that in the morning with the cars, and that was great. But in the afternoon, when we were then going to do our main filming and review, they said, okay, now you're going to go out on the public roads. Problem is, in Sweden, they have quite strict speed limits and speed cameras every like quarter or half mile at some of these on some of these roads. And this was in the fastest Kia ever made, 580 horsepower car that petrol ped measured doing 0 to 60 in about 3.1 seconds.
Wow.
So you're stuck there going, well, okay, this is great, but I can't put my foot down. I can't even do 60 mile an hour on these roads.
I'm glad this is you and not me.
Yeah.
We're good on this side. We're good.
It's a beautiful place here, but it was not designed for big cars.
Definitely not, which is why I'm glad that you're taking responsibility for this one right now.
Yeah. You know, the one thing worse than crashing the car you were sent to review, crashing the car you weren't even reviewing. Here's the thing, right? If we do our job right, the whole supercar driving bit, even stuff with this, it should look glamorous, it should look exciting, it should look nice, because that's kind of the dream, right? Nobody really dreams of a supercar stuck in midday traffic in the middle of town. You dream of beautiful open roads with spectacular scenery, and that's what I've dreamt of. You know, as a movie maker, that's the kind of content that I want to make. It's more interesting to watch and it's nice to make. But it is still work for us. There is still a job to be done. And the fact is that, yeah, doing all of this, it will have taken 2 days just to film. We've both obviously taken the time out. By the time we got to the airport, we're about 200 quid down between us in fuel and airport fees and a ludicrously expensive breakfast, which is very nice at Giraffe, but £3.50 to have a bit of toast with your full English. That's not a full English, is it? That's a 8/10 English at best.
I think so. I don't think it's really a full English until you got some toast.
Now, other press launches might sometimes involve a bit of time on track. And that, of course, is great for the right kind of car. In fact, I'd love to drive the MC Pura around a track, but this, well, there's not going to be any of that happening. We're actually quite lucky in that this event actually has been set up not just for regular journos, but also video types like ourselves. And even doing this is, well, it's actually quite the luxury because, well, the guys at Maserati know what I do, and they've said, look, you just tell us what you need. That's a really refreshing attitude. So whatever I say about the car, Maserati, thank you very much.
And that is the thing. Some people might think, well, going on this trip is as good as getting paid. But quite frankly, I disagree. Because right now, we could be making videos back at home. In fact, on a good day, when James and I are working together, we can smash out sometimes up to 4 videos in terms of the production process of 4 different cars. And each one of those videos is going to make some money and actually provide some sort of return. I don't know about you, James, but I can't pay for my electricity bills with sunshine and a free lunch. There is actually nothing really in it for us here today, other than to get some great content about a car that is, well, we're going to be among the first to actually get to review it.
Yeah, which is really cool, really exciting. It's nice to be now finally working with Maserati after many, many years of trying. And we are still going to make something out of this. Like, this is not a charitable thing. That's important to say. This is business for all involved. But the cold, hard truth of it is that I could make an awful lot more money if that were my only goal, sat at home moaning about something. We did a big trip to Europe. I mean, it took me about 2 weeks. You were away with me for about a week when we went down to Andorra with the Scuderia, and we made some incredible stuff down there. It's really good footage that I am so happy that we made. But I did a video, I think a week before, sat in my garage, that all in took about, I don't know, an hour and a half, like, you know, filmed and edited.
And uploaded and titled and thumbnailed and descriptions.
Yeah. And I think about, in terms of expenses, quarter of a bottle of Pepsi Max.
Oh, wow, that much.
The Andorran trip, I think it was near £1,000 just in petrol alone. The production on that video was thousands and thousands if you tallied up the cost involved. I mean, the whole trip only just about broke even, and that's because I did something like 10 reviews during it. The big headline video actually was one of the worst performers.
Funny that, and so many people kept saying, oh yeah, James, we want to see more of your road trips, and we're like, okay, here's a road trip.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not going to click on that.
Always the way. The thing is that, you know, I hope people are going to click on this video, but I don't know that people are going to click on this video or the MC Pura review. They might decide that, you know what, I'm not interested, it's not my kind of thing, it's basically just an MC20 and I've seen those before, and they'll just go, you know, I could wind up, I probably wouldn't lose money out of this trip, but it is time that could technically have been better spent elsewhere.
I think the one thing that I can guarantee is that the money is going to be lost on the JayEmm Friends version of the video, because we're still way too small to be able to make actual real money. At the moment, I think we're just stemming some of the losses.
The JayEmm Friends video is in the red as soon as we called a taxi.
But this is what you've got to do when you want to build something and build a new business together. So this is where we're at.
And on the subject of business building, another thing that I know people do talk about when it comes to, well, any kind of press event is, what are we told to say? Now, later on, you're going to get the technical briefing, but all they are going to tell us is what they have, or in the case of this car, haven't done to it. They're just going to be telling us the cold, hard facts. That's it. Nobody should be telling you whether you're going to like something, not like something. If they do, it's no longer journalism, it's advertising, and for that you should be paid. And that is why it is important that we don't take money from the manufacturer. Now, there are some out there, particularly hardcore, who would also pay for their own flights and things out to events like this, and those people I salute, but they're very, very rare indeed.
The fact that the flights were covered really is just making it possible for you to be here realistically. I think it's not a benefit. In fact, it's an overhead as far as we were concerned.
Yeah, and let's face it, no magazine is going to pay for flights for their journalists to come out to an event. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, there just really isn't enough money in it overall. And I think this is something that some people may misunderstand, that they think that, you know, you're brought out here on a jolly, we're going to butter you up and make you feel fantastic, and we'll tell you some wonderful things to say about the car. And that's just not how it is. Now, there are some people that we know of who I would say are more influencers. And I think they are advertising a car, they get paid to come along. As long as they put that little tick box that says paid promotion, I don't have a problem with it.
And make it clear that they are advertising a product.
Yeah.
Because this video will have paid promotion written on it. Well,
yeah.
My one on the MC20, on the MC Pura, sorry, certainly will. Oh no, we've just been done by a Fiat Panda.
Oh dear. That's your fault for sticking to the speed limit, James.
Yeah, it is. Shame. Ding. And obviously, just in case people are unaware, the reason my videos contains paid promotion on them is because I have my sponsors, Dodo Juice, Car Vertical, Nove Watches, discount code in the link below. And of course, because those companies have paid me to do that, I have to put that there. That tag goes there. Every now and again, I get somebody that watches the video goes, oh, you've been paid by Friday. No, I haven't. Trust me. You talk to anybody that was in the world of marketing sort of from 20, 30 years ago, now that was lavish. That was serious. they were crazy, unhinged times. The budget was unbelievable. Even in the 10 years that I've been doing this, I have seen the budgets crushed crazily. You just don't really do stuff anymore. I'm actually quite happy, because what we're now left with is the bit that I was interested in. Here's a place, here's a car, we can't really afford to distract you. Like, fine by me. I'm very happy. Hey, just give me a car, somewhere to drive it, and I will do the rest. I just think that sometimes maybe influencers in particular just show a bit more of things. Yeah. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
No, and I think showcasing a car is fine. You can tell the ones that are showcasing, because they'll generally say only positive things and very rarely share an actual opinion on the car. And then there are those who are more journalistic. They'll probably spot a few things they don't like about the car, because nothing is perfect.
Including us. And apparently there's a hotel around here somewhere, though I think I might have misplaced it.
Yes.
And with that, I think it's probably time for us to sign off. And if you'd like to know any more about what it's really like on a press launch, we've probably done half a job explaining it to you. And yeah, that's the other problem with doing these things. When you're on roads you don't know, you're quite distracted trying to talk, drive, and find mysteriously vanishing hotels. It's a lot. But anyway, thank you for sticking with us. And don't forget to hit the like button, comment down below, subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you next time here at JayEmm Friends. A little treat for those that have stayed to the end. Just walk down slowly. Now from here, it looks like you're about to start a really interesting documentary. The world, it's changing around us. In 20 years, will this cliff even be here?
Well, I don't know, James, but what I do know is that Maserati is here right now, and this is what we're driving today.